So to many of us, David and Colette Stevens' family Facebook photos would show a beautiful family. But the comments underneath them show that something's amiss. Poor excuses parents, quit smiling, and baby killers. On March 5th, the Canadian government opened a trial. The charge, failing to provide their 19-month-old son, Ezekiel, the necessaries of life. They refused to take him to the doctor when he became sick, instead using household remedies such as smoothies containing hot peppers, ginger root, horseradish, onion, and apple cider vinegar. Even after warnings from a family friend who is a nurse, they finally took him to the emergency room when he started to have trouble breathing, but by then it was too late. Ezekiel died from a bacterial meningitis infection and empyema, which can be easily fixed by antibiotics. This toddler's death raises questions on whether it should be mandatory for parents to vaccinate their children with the already mandatory, routinely given vaccines. Children need to be vaccinated. It helps prevent illnesses, and it makes their immune system stronger to help prevent diseases. First, I will discuss why vaccines should be mandatory, the effects that the vaccines can have on children, and the benefits that vaccines can have for when the children become older. So first, I'll discuss why they should be mandatory. Reasoning for parents not to vaccinate their children is because they believe that vaccines cause autism, and this is not true. According to the CDC, one ingredient that has been tested is thimerosal, which is a mercury-based preservative that prevents contamination of multi-dose vials of the vaccines. And research shows that this does not cause autism. There are some vaccines that still have thimerosal in them today, such as some flu vaccines, but there are thimerosal-free options. And next I'll discuss the effects of vaccines on children. I believe that the vaccines that should be mandatory are the ones that are routinely given when we are younger, such as like measles, whooping cough, pneumococcal, and meningitis vaccines. When you send your children off to school and they aren't vaccinated, they can catch these illnesses much easier and spread them much faster to other children. According to Alexandra Sifferlin of Time magazine, over 2/3 of doctors that were surveyed believe that children who are not vaccinated should not be allowed to go to public schools. And I'm not saying that all vaccines should be mandatory. I'm saying like the ones that we were routinely given when we were younger, those should be the ones that should be kept mandatory. But like the live virus ones, that people with lower immune systems, if they have a live vaccine, they will definitely catch that illness. So those should be kept mandatory, like the flu vaccines, but the ones that should be mandatory are the like meningitis, pneumococcal, stuff like that. And then the benefits for vaccines when children are older. If a child is vaccinated, their immune system, becomes stronger because of the vaccine. And sometimes when children are older, medical issues arise. Like for myself, example, over the summer I found out that I have juvenile idiopathic arthritis, and children from 6 months to 16 years old can find out that they have this type of arthritis. And I myself was 17 when I found out that I had it, but it most likely was already in my system. It just didn't arise until I noticed problems with like my fingers and my joints. Now, because I have this, I have to give myself a shot of Humira every other week, and this medicine lowers my immune system. So there were some vaccines that I had to receive again that I already received when I was younger. One of them being the pneumococcal conjugate vaccine, or the PCV13, and the pneumococcal polysaccharide vaccine, or the PPSV23. Now, the PCV13 is a vaccine that protects you from the 13 types of pneumococcal bacteria, and this is the bacteria that most children are to easily catch. And then the PPSV23 is just a vaccine that protects you from an additional 23 types of the pneumococcal bacteria. Now, in conclusion, I believe that vaccines do help children, and fight off illnesses, especially the ones that have lower immune systems naturally or because of medicine, like myself. And by discussing why vaccines should be mandatory and the effects that they have and the benefits that they help with children when they are older, I hope that I have helped you decide whether or not you will vaccinate your child when you have children to protect their lives.
Is the flu virus live or is it a dead virus?
The nasal vaccine that you get, that's the live virus, but the shots that you receive, those are the dead virus. Jeez.
You said the arthritis or whatever.
Yeah.
Did you think you got that because you didn't receive a certain vaccine? Is that why people get that? Or?
No, it's just the thing that happens.
Okay.
Like your joints, what happens is your joints become inflamed and there's fluid in there, so it's harder for like it started out with my finger. Like I couldn't bend it all the way, and then I found out that I couldn't extend my elbow all the way, and that in my jaw the bone has eroded from the inflammatory fluid that was in there. So, and then this medicine just helps calm all that inflammatory fluid stuff. Emily?
So like the family in your intro, have you seen any numbers about how many parents are getting charged with things like those parents just from not giving their child vaccines?
I did not. I just found that specific story and it really stood out to me. So I thought it'd be a good attention getter.
You talked about, was it thimerosal? Was that the thing
Thimerosal,
that? So there's an option that they can get now without the thimerosal in it. Did you find anything about how many people are opting for that, or do doctors promote that? Anything or studies if it actually is better or worse for?
I did not. I mean, the thimerosal is just preservative that keeps contaminants out of that vaccine. So it's not bad for you, and it doesn't cause autism, but if parents are worried about it, there are alternatives.
All right, good job.